Hey there, I'm Tracy and I'm the director of the Urban Alchemist Health Clinic in North Carlton in Melbourne. And today I'd like to share with you about one of the important values of our practice, which is growth. So growth is also an important value of me, and because I oversee and help this little baby grow here, the values that the practice embodies tend to be also the values that I hold in highest esteem in my own life. So growth's been probably the hardest one for me as a human, and as I look around at clients and friends and acquaintances and people I meet in daily life, I think growth is a challenging thing for many of us. There's lots of reasons why we avoid growth and we try to restrict growth happening in our lives, whether we are conscious of doing that or not. Could be anything from losing the friendships and the loved ones that we feel we have to stay a certain way to keep in our lives, all the way through to the fear of not knowing who am I going to be on the other side of this place that I'm kind of comfortable in, or if I'm really uncomfortable, at least I know the place, or it could be, even as somebody pointed out to me a little while ago, it could be the fear of the unknown, of what your shining brightly your gifts might look like. And if you know me, that's a big one for me. I feel like I have a lot of potential in the world, and there are times when I keep myself very tightly bound up in a little ball doing things that I know that aren't so great for me, in order to avoid stepping forward into those gifts, or at least that's the way I used to play, and I'm more and more stepping into allowing those layers to fly off me. Actually, they're happening pretty quickly, so that I can grow into my purpose in the world. So how do we restrict our growth is what I would like to talk about in this particular video. I'll try to keep it short and sweet, but there's loads of different ways we do this. If you're not aware of ways that you try to growth proof yourself and prevent growth from happening in your own life, please listen up, because there are so many ways that people do it, as many ways as there are humans, but I'm going to cover a few of the really obvious ones today. First of all, this one's bleedingly obvious. Everybody knows someone who does this or has done it, or is very aware. This is a very prevalent one in our society, and that is substance abuse and misuse. So this could be anything from drinking alcohol on a regular basis, binge drinking daily, even if it's a wine, just to fuzz up our heads at the end of the day and prevent us from really focusing clearly on something that's important. It could be tobacco or cigarettes. It could be pot smoking. It could be prescription medication, opiates, benzos from a GP that we tell ourselves, oh, I need this, when actually we're not really needing it and it has become a crutch. It could be recreational drugs or other substances, which I'm going to also include in this category, and people might fight me on this, but food is another big one. It's really easy to see how things that are mind altering, like chemicals, drugs, alcohol, those sorts of things, are a substance that we could misuse in order to keep ourselves away from looking more deeply into what's happening in our lives and creating path for growth. But people find it a bit more challenging to consider how that happens with food. For example, if you are a sugar addict, then you are very likely eating sugar 1,000,000 times a day, which if you stop doing it, you'll notice how it clouds your brain, makes you fuzzy, you'll often wake fatigued, you tend to have gut problems if you do it for the long term. Your liver can stop processing things well. People sometimes will have headaches, lack of clarity. difficulties with concentration and memory. All of these sorts of things have been attributed to especially sugar, but also other areas of poor diet. So if you're a person who eats loads of sugar, loads of gluten, lots of other things, which I won't talk too much about because it's not my area of specialty, but junk food, if you're filling your body with these kinds of foods as opposed to fresh, wholesome fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, proteins, other things that are known to be really good for you, then what you're likely doing is clogging your body up and making a bit of a mess of your mental faculties, which again prevent you from being clear, working out a path for growth, and being really aware of where you are at right now. So there are a couple of the ways that people keep themselves away from moving forward and growing. Other ways that humans like to keep themselves restricted from growth is to keep themselves busy. So other distractions and ways that we might keep ourselves busy. What this might look like in your life is coming home every night and putting on Netflix and staring at the TV from when you get home until when you go to bed. And you might have a good 4 hours or 6 hours or more hours that you spend lying on your couch, binge watching, whatever it is you're watching right now. And while that might be fun every so often, if you're doing that every night, then guaranteed you are not looking at important areas of your life that need your attention. Maybe you should be writing a book. Maybe you should be producing a play. Maybe you should be learning the guitar. I don't know. We're all here for different things, but if you don't know what your purpose is, and if you think that your purpose only goes as far as watching the next season of, I don't even know what, because I didn't watch it on Netflix, then I reckon you're mistaken. This is a way that we distract ourselves. Another way that we distract ourselves is by overworking. The cult of busy has enjoyed a great rise over the last, I'm not sure how many years, many years, throughout my lifetime anyway. And there are so many of us who like to keep ourselves busy with the work that we do in our day jobs. Sometimes we bring it home, maybe we work for ourselves and we slave like crazy people. There are other people who do work for others. So always doing for others, not leaving enough space or time to really focus attention clearly on my own project and my own life, and what do I need, and what's going to make my heart sing. These are the questions that we need to leave space for in our lives if we want to find a path to growth and actually start to walk down that path. So you can see from the things that I've pointed out today, there are loads of different ways that we can distract ourselves from growing. There are some other quite toxic ones that I haven't pointed out yet, and I won't go into a lot of detail about those, but they are things like high drama in your life, always getting angry with people, having feuds within your family or with friends or with other people in society. Other things might be very toxic relationships, codependent relationships that require for you to be giving your time and energy to a partner. Or situations that are physically or emotionally quite harmful for you that we keep ourselves sometimes trapped in because we're too afraid to move out of those and move forward. Sometimes because we don't know what's on the other side, sometimes for other reasons, but all of those are ways that we block our own growth as humans. So that's what I've got to say about that. If you can think about any other ways that we block our own growth, please leave a message in the comments, because I'd be really interested to hear any other ways that people think we do this. I think it's quite fascinating that we have all of this potential, and yet so many of us are so frightened to move off the couch and get going with it. Hope you have a wonderful day. Take care. Bye.